Rabbi Shushan Mazuz. He was actually born in the year 1918, Tafresh Ein Het, and passed away on the 15th of Elul towards the end of the 20th century in 1999. He came from great heritage. His father's name was Rav Kamiyas Mazuz, and his mother's name was Rabbanit Kamisa, I believe. He was born in the year 1918 in the island of Jerba over there, which is a Torah bastion area, let's just say, respectively, this was. And so very, very interesting. So he was, he obviously from Tunisian heritage and greatness at that point in time. It was like a bastion area. I think his parents would emigrate to the land of Israel in the year 1910, but I think there was issues with potentially being drafted into the Turkish army at the end of the First World War. They returned to Jerba while, interesting enough, I think his mother was pregnant with him at that point in time, and he was born and raised in a large district and was, I think, named actually after his grandmother, Shoshana, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very interesting enough. So, so as I stated in Hebrew, like the Homey website says, they're worried about being drafted into the Turkish army. First World War. חזרו לג'רבה בעוד אימו נוסעת אותו ברחמה. הוא נולד וגדל ברובע הגדול. He grew up in the great square, the Jewish square in Tunisia, ונקרא על שם סבתו Shoshana. Very interesting enough. And I think eventually would actually return to the land of Israel. So he would learn Torah under the auspices of father and go on to learn Torah under great Rabbanim of that specific year, including the famous Rabbi Moshe HaKohen Derihem. Now, he happens to be a rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before inside the series. I think we actually recorded a whole video within regards to him. I think his Hilula, he passed away, I think, in the year 1966, about 33 years before the great rabbi we're speaking about today. He happened to be, Rabbi Derihem happened to have great positions. He was a Dayan, a Posek, a chief rabbi of the square of the Jit, respectively, or Kharat Sagira, as they say in the island of Jerba, one of the great rabbis of Tunisia he was, and was part of the Bet Din Jewish court in Tiberias, respectively, and author of great Torah books. That was his rabbi, Rabbi Moshe HaKohen Derihem. There was very, very close connection and really be nurtured from a Torah point of view through him. Also, another great rabbi he would learn under was Rabbi Kalfon Moshe HaKohen, another great rabbi we mentioned about on various occasions over here inside the series. One of the earlier rabbis we did a recorded video with in regards to that. It's actually interesting. Rav Kalfon, if I'm not mistaken, was seen as one of the great rabbis. He passed away himself in the year 1950. He was known as Chacham Kalfon, and was one, without doubt, I think was the chief rabbi of Jerba, and one of the great rabbis in the whole of Tunisia, author of great Torah books on halacha, chinuch, education, musar, drashot, and sheilot, question and answers books, respectively. Was known for his brilliance, and that was his rabbi, basically, which is very, very interesting. Now, I think come with the year 1936, he'll be ordained to the rabbinate. He received rabbinic ordination, and he would work as an educator, a teacher in the yeshiva. This was around 1936, around that period. Come on, 1940, he would get married to his wife, Marat Kamuna, I believe. She happened to come from the Cohen family over there. And then he would be ordained as a shochet, a rabbi that can perform spiritual slaughter, kosher slaughter, respectively, and would actually work in Tunis, I think, and really do a lot of kiruv work, and working in the realms of Jewish holiness works in of itself, importance, which was very seen as crucial at that point in time. Now, come with the year 1955, we would have been about 36, 37 years of age, and I think there was, obviously around the world, it was a changing time period at that point in time. There was struggles, obviously, with the French government. They would agree to grant, I think at that point in time, independence to Tunisia, the French government will. And as a result of that, Rabbi Shushan Mazuz would actually, I think, send his children, some of the children, to land, to Eretz Israel, so to Israel, to make Aliyah. And I think after the actual independence itself was achieved, let's say in the year 1956, he was successful and immigrated to Eretz Israel, to the land of Israel, with all his family, and they would go on to settle in the Naharia neighborhood over there in Israel, which was obviously fantastic to actually be back in Israel. And I think the first few years he was in Israel, he would work in and various, I think he was connected to the Keren Kaemet Yisrael, if I'm not mistaken. He was doing workings in of itself, and was working hard, I think, in agriculture in of itself, and it's a very, very interesting. I think at that stage in time, he wasn't necessarily, the initial year, he wasn't necessarily working in the Kodesh realm, but you could argue that working agriculture, as the Pelioet says, is something kadosh also to do, that you can do it. But he was very, very highly trained, and that was working in the realms of Shochet previously in Tunisia. So we have to point that out. And he would write down, not just while he was doing the working, whatever was in the agricultural realm, he enjoyed it, he loved it, and he would, the vast majority of the day, would write down various different Torah, novel thoughts in himself, and will be imbued in Torah study also. And because of this, I mean, in his study, spending like a premium time dwelling in study in of itself respectively, he would end up printing books from this. He was great Torah works, including the Raphael Hamalach, which was a Sheelot book, question and answers book. Also the Abba Shaul, which was based on the ethics of the fathers, Pirkei Avot. Another great book, Shoshan, which was on the Ma'asiyot of the Tanaim. The Shoshanim LeDavid, another great book. This was in the book of Psalms on Tehillim, respectively. Geula Shlema, book on the Haggadah, I think the Pesach Passover liturgy. Shoshan Edut, this is on the Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, and the Kamus Amdi, and the Sefer Anshe Hashem. And many of these great books will actually get printed out, and much of it can be found, I think, in his hometown, original term, of the Tamazeh synagogue in Aharia. Now it's reported that he passed away in the year 1999. That was on the 15th of Elul. He was about years of age, if I'm not mistaken. So he was very, very great rabbi at that point in time, and I think he was close to many of the great rabbis of Israel, in all throughout, respectively. And 81 years of age, and it's very interesting. I think he was actually close to many other of the great, all great Sephardi rabbis, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he was, so it's interesting. So I think he was buried in the old burial plot in Tiberias, it's reported over. So you can see actually the greatness is much commentated within regards to him, especially at his different points of time that he was in Eretz Israel, and what he did and what he achieved, basically, especially with all the great Torah books that he did, was absolutely incredible. Let's explore a few of the highlights from his book, just using the Haimi website. Very informative website, I must say, especially from a historical point of view. One of the teachings in the Sefer Raphael HaMalach, he will actually write down, I believe, in page Reish Tzadik Gimel. This was a great book. Melamed Shirak Eretz Yisrael Ahava Shalom. The importance of unity, especially in the land of Israel, especially when it comes to mitzvot and love. Another teaching, I think, coming from page Reish Ayin Gimel, Abi Melamed, Shavodat Tova le'adam, shegam im hu rab b'shanim, naset sa'ir. This is another important teaching. Another one. And this time coming from page 159. Melamed ech yesedeh aliyat shlosha bar mitzvah. Bar men, kohen ve'en levi. Another teaching, I think, that we've got here, Reish Tzadik Gimel, page Reish Tzadik Gimel, teaches Melamed shatzdaka מבטלת כל מיני חולאים וגזירות רעות. The importance of giving charity and how it can annul, let's say, decrees that might be on a person. God forbid there's bad decrees and so on. And another teaching, מלמד, על ידי מצוות כתיבת ספר תורה, נשאר עם ישראל חי וקיים. The importance of writing a Sefer Torah in of itself. This is what keeps Am Yisrael alive, the children of Israel alive. Another teaching coming from Amud 55. This is from the Pirkei Avot book of his now, this time called Abba Shaul. So, this is a very, very important book. And he teaches of them. How important is our houses should be open to the poor people, less fortunate people, and we should greet them in, respectively. Another teaching from the Pirkei Avot book, the Ethics of the Fathers, it teaches how is the Geula going to come? Potentially, it's going to come in the merit of mitzvot and learning Torah, respectively. It's a great merit, a great spot. One last teaching from the Pirkei Avot book, I think from based on Perek Aleph on page 61. מלמד, מי שאינו קפדן ואוהב את הבריות, יכול לקרבם אל התורה. So write a teaching in regards to, let's just say, these importances respectively. So he was a great rabbi of his time, one of the famous Tunisian rabbis, especially in Eretz Israel, would do very, very important works respectively. And I think that you can find some of his teachings, if I'm not mistaken, inside the Hebrew books, in National Library websites, respectively. There's various different of his teachings, which actually featured and documented very much so, especially the Sefer of the Haggadah on Pesach, the Shushan Edut. Most notably, the Sefer Rafael HaMalach is obviously a very, very great book, and I recommend everyone to look into that. It actually gives over all different information in a very concise way. So he was a great rabbi of his time from Tunisia. He lived about 81 years of age. And obviously the Mazuz family was a famous rabbinic dynasty in Eretz Israel, doing huge amounts of importances and works all throughout. So I recommend everyone to learn more within regards to that. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis. Yes, sir. Yeah. If you descend from any of the great rabbanim we are speaking about, please, I would appreciate it if you send an email and let us know more information on the great rabbi. It will be absolutely amazing to know. If anyone is interested in watching any of these videos that we are recording, please share these videos also to other people. And that's another great way of helping this great community work and to grow and go from strength to strength. And I think it's very, very important. You will enjoy it. On this series over here, we don't just record videos, biography videos of great rabbis of yesteryear. We also record videos of tours around different sites of Israel. We speak about different yeshivot in Israel and famous synagogues, Sephardi synagogues, we try and expound on and grapple into. So we're doing many importances here on this. We do Parshat Shavua videos. We do videos on the Hebrew month. So Daf Yomi tidbits. A daily tidbit on Daf Yomi, I think, is very, very important. And we very much do all of this. And very, very interesting enough. Please join the channel. We're nearing a staggering 7,500 members, which is absolutely phenomenal. And hopefully we can get to the 8,000 mark, hopefully by the time of Sukkot. And we're looking to do that and grow and enjoy. So on that note, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom and take care and have a great day. Thank you for watching.